Hi, my name's Becky Lodge. I'm the founder of the online startup and business coaching community, Startup Disruptors. And today I'm with the most awesome sponsors of our community, Lawdit Solicitors. I'd like to welcome Mike, the owner of Lawdit and founder, also Ellis and also Mark to the room today. And we're going to be talking about them, really, what prompted them to sponsor us, and also a little bit about Mike's background in starting and founding the business back in the early 2000s. So Mike, thank you so much for being with me today. It's great to see you.
Hi, Beck. No, thank you for the invite. It's delightful to be here.
It's great to see you. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit to firstly tell the people that are watching a bit about you and why you started up a law business in the early 2000s. So over to you, my friend.
Thanks, Beck. So my name is Michael Coyle. I'm originally from Manchester. I'm now living on the Isle of Wight. Our office is in Southampton and London, and the offices are owned by Lawdit Solicitors. I started Lawdit in the summer of 2000, July 2000. Always wanted to work for myself, always wanted to be in control of my own destiny. Wasn't a big fan of lawyers generally, hadn't had a particularly enjoyable training period. In fact, it was hell. I was a bully from, the most horrible man of all time. Then as my career progressed, you have to be 3 to 5 years qualified before you go out on your own. Again, that experience of just how they treated clients, how they treated the staff, how they treated their own personal relationships was just awful. So I always wanted to work for myself. And I'm from an ordinary background, and we've never had any lawyers in the family. So it was all a bit of a let's make it up as we go along sort of thing. So I had an idea for a firm called Lawdit, and it was going to be with the launch of the internet. I was just going to sit on the couch at home and just audit people's websites. So I go through someone's website and I say, well, that needs to be changed, or well, that's quite good, or that needs to be amended. And that was Lawdit, auditing from a legal perspective. And then over the years, we've blossomed into a blossom. It's been a, which we'll come on to, it's been a tough battle for any business to start. But over the years, we have turned into a pretty general commercial law firm that covers most aspects of law. But from a bit more, not a laid-back perspective, but just more trying to be more aware of the people out there and how they appreciate and expect from lawyers. Because back in the day, my mother and father would never go and see a lawyer, and if they went to see a lawyer, they were just the greatest, amazing people ever. There was, they spoke so well, they were so intelligent, they were so educated. Well, it's not the case, and you need to be able to communicate and discuss things with people in a way which they understand and appreciate that you're not talking down to them. So that's what we try and do. Don't get it always spot on, but we try and do it,
I think it's interesting. There's a couple of comments you made there about inaccessibility and also the way that law firms are viewed. And Ellis and I think Mark will be quite, we'll bring you in here to talk a little bit about that. I think there's almost a fear around that sector itself, that it's really quite terrifying for people if they've not had a business before and they're starting up and they've got such conflicting priorities, maybe not much money, are trying to avoid all the charlatans in the market, don't know how to contractually protect themselves, and sometimes don't even know that they have to protect their business because this is going to be their everything. So I think there's some really sort of few interesting comments there. But Ellis and Mark, what are your thoughts on how people sort of perceive lawyers generally? Is that something that you've knocked up against, Ellis, especially sort of perhaps Ellis being a woman, because it's happened to me in business, or Mark, if there's any comments on that, then feel free to jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. When I started kind of embarking on my legal career, the first thing that I was told is that I should get that idea out of my head. It was never going to happen, never going to become a lawyer, and I should think about doing something that was a bit easier. And I am the sort of person, I come from a family of strong, independent women, and I don't take no particularly well. So that was kind of the fire that it was in my belly, and there was no way that I wasn't going to do it. But yeah, absolutely. I think, again, I'm from a family where I'm the first to go to university, let alone kind of embark in the law. And it still is, but but it seems to be kind of going in the right way. A very sort of hard-nosed industry where people are scared because these people that they see represented are so different from the people that they actually are, that they think it's just out of their reach. I get the impression that people feel that there's no way that these people could understand my needs and wants, and therefore why would I pay lots of money to go and see them and see if they can help me?
Yeah, and Mark, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so just to add to that, so hi everyone. I mean, you know, I'm probably the baby of the group here today, being qualified only last year as a solicitor. But when I first used the word embarked on this journey, Ellis, I do remember very vividly being incredibly nervous when I got the tap on the shoulder to say, I'm meeting a friend of mine. He is the managing director of a law firm. And I was doing my degree at the time, and I just thought, what does that even mean? What do these people look like? You have this image of them being dragons, and of course, you know, Michael's very down to earth, but very experienced as well. And I was just shocked when I was sort of, you know, took that plunge and went and joined them for a drink, and, you know, realized that actually they're very normal people, and he was very approachable. And I thought, this is for me. I like this, because normal people that know what they're doing and know what they're talking about, I think is very important to sort of get across.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I think, you know, Mike is super approachable, and we're in honour and humbled by his shirt choice today as well. Definitely humbled by the shirt choice, but we love it. We're loving it. But I think it's about that shift in leadership, and I think that perhaps Mike was earlier to market than most other people were. And actually, the future now in the work that we do, you know, we're a digital online community and Facebook group. We do everything via Zoom. We were doing that before the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. So that was something that, and we were sort of, people pointed fingers at us and said, you know, it's a bit strange, it's a bit weird, why would you want to do that? And I'm sure that's something Mike experienced early on in his career as well, which is, you know, if this sector has spent so long trying to make people be in awe of them, why is it that you're being approachable? And actually strong leadership is about making everybody feel safe. And I don't think that law as a sector, it still can be quite scary and intimidating. So I think that law as a sector has got to shift in the next, you know, certainly very quickly, and pivot. And we've seen that a lot with what's happened during the pandemic. So any thoughts on that, guys?
You know, very much. I think you'll always have that. We call it in the old days like the magic circle, or 5 magic circle firms, and you'll always have this hardcore 25 firms that are pretty much untouchable in terms of how they'll be instructed by the big boys, by the PLCs, by the shareholders, by the people it's not really their money. And then you've got the mass market, whereby you've got people who are seeking legal services and simply can't afford it because of the fees. And then there's the market whereby the solicitors have realised this, and then the internet has equalled a lot of them out. So there is those solicitors who are really looking at it now from a much more commercial angle. And of course, then there's so many solicitors have gone non-regulated. So that means they've taken themselves out of the profession, but call themselves legal consultants, which saves them probably £50,000 a year in insurance. And they're still offering their services. And you've got non-lawyers offering legal services, non-solicitors offering legal services, which has really brought the fees down. When we first did trademarks, we were the only ones doing trademarks in 2000 online. Now, I mean, there must be 150, 200 of them, and the prices come right down. You know, so you can still go to the city and spend £5,000 on a trademark, or you can go around the corner to a Woking firm or to a Southampton firm and pay £500. I mean, it's that crazy. And often the £5,000 firm is using the £500 firm and just white labeling it and putting it on their headed paper and charging the client £5,000. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting because there seems to be a lot of shift in this around increased competition on pricing. And now people moving away, law firms especially, and accountancy again is going through this, moving away from large offices because they've realised that people can work from home, as we all probably are maybe speaking from home today, or from a smaller office. And that's bringing down the overheads, because historically people had these massive buildings, you know, they were having golf days. And I think that's still you know, really how customers see law as a sector, but it's down to us to change that, I think, and actually say it is accessible and it's easier to actually get what you want and need at an affordable price. So I can't believe we've had a great chat this morning. So thank you so much for your input on that. Just in terms of getting in contact with you all, what's the best contact method? Because you're all on LinkedIn, obviously. So you've got Mark Reed, Ellis Swetnam, and Michael Coyle, who are all on LinkedIn. And we can pop in the bottom of whichever social media channel we're on. We can pop those links in there. If you want to get to know us a bit better, please pop your name or tag yourself, and we'll get in contact with you to give you a bit more info. But what I would say is don't be afraid to check out and speak to Lawdit if it's just a little bit of information that you want. I've worked with them personally, so I can definitely advocate them. So thanks for the fantastic work you did with us on the trademarking for Startup Disruptors, and specifically thanks to Ellis for that as well. So guys, what's the best way? What's the website people can visit for you? I think it's on your screen at the bottom.
Yeah, so I think it's important for everyone who's watching this. Just remember that I've been there from the beginning and I'm still here after 20 years. So I've sort of experienced every member of the startup. I've experienced what you've gone through. So please just get in touch with us. It's not going to cost you anything to ask a question. We don't work that way. If you feel that you need to ask something, my mantra is, if I have to open a book and look it up, you'll get a bill. If it's already in here, I'll just help you and we'll move on. And I think that's really fair.
Yeah, that sounds like the most reasonable thing a solicitor has ever said to me in my life. So thank you for that, Mike. And yeah, if you go to www.lawdit.co.uk, you can see it on the screens in orange at the bottom. The guys will be able to help you, or contact me and I can put you in touch with the awesome peeps that are Lawdit Solicitors. Thank you so much to the three of you for your time today. And if you want to get in touch with me about Startup Disruptors, it's www.startupdisruptors.co.uk or Becky Lodge on LinkedIn. It's been a delight to talk to the three of you. Thank you so much for making my life so much easier.
Always a pleasure.
And
thanks for your time, Beck.
That's all right, my love. Take care. Stay safe all. Bye-bye for now.
Good luck with the wash. Clean that washing up.
I know. Bye.